Welcome back, everyone. Let's go ahead and do a comparison in 2021 compared to the iPhone SE 2 and the iPhone 7. If you want to pick up either one of these phones, links will be down in the description. You can get them from there and help support the channel at the same time. Now, side by side, you can actually see that both of these phones are very similar to one another. They have essentially the same type of display, same bezels, same fingerprint sensors, essentially the same thing. The iPhone SE 2's panel, though, is definitely better. You have True Tone, and it just looks better and sharper overall. I think it obviously feels better in the hand as well, but that is one of the bigger advantages of the SE 2 over the iPhone 7, is that it looks better a little bit because of the panel, in my opinion. On the bottom, lightning ports on both, nothing super crazy there. In terms of the thinness and thickness, I definitely do think that the side of the iPhone SE 2 feels better. I don't know if they're built exactly the same, but that was one thing I kind of saw. But I like the iPhone 7, especially the jet black version. It just looks so good in my opinion. Now on the back, glass back on the iPhone SE 2, standard aluminum back on the iPhone 7, single camera setups up top. No, there is wireless charging on the iPhone SE 2. There is no wireless charging on the iPhone 7, so keep that in mind. Other than that, though, they kind of are the same type of phone. They have the same functionalities. Nothing super crazy that's in one phone besides the other. Besides the wireless charging. Other than that, they both kind of function the same, which is a really good advantage for both of these devices. So in terms of the outside, that pretty much covers it up. Now, there is a little bit of a humongous difference between both of these phones, and that is the software lifecycle. The iPhone 7, as most of you know, came out in 2016, so it's definitely not a new phone anymore. It came out a while ago. Obviously, I think everyone knows that. But with the iPhone 7, it's not going to be lasting that long. It's going to last for a little bit of time, but it's not going to last like a crazy amount of time more. It's probably going to get iOS 15, and then it may end at iOS 15, based on what everyone's saying. With the iPhone SE 2, on the other hand, you're getting a phone that's going to be lasting for a very long amount of time. This phone's going to last for many, many years. It's not going to be outdated anytime soon, and that is a huge advantage for a phone like the iPhone SE 2. So you can buy this phone today, you can buy this phone next year, or even the year after, and still get several more years of software support, where the iPhone 7 is pretty much going to be outdated within probably a year to a year and a half from now. So take it as you will. I would rather have the iPhone SE 2, and that is the biggest advantage between these two in my opinion. You're going to be getting a much more solid phone from the iPhone SE 2 than the iPhone 7 in terms of software experience. The battery life, though, I think is a little bit better on the iPhone 7, if I'm being honest. If you have 100% capacity on both these devices, no battery degradation or anything, the iPhone 7 may be the better phone here. But again, the iPhone SE 2, like none of these phones are great battery lives, but if one had to be better, I'd probably say the iPhone 7 in my opinion. So in terms of that covers it up there. Now let's go and do a speed comparison between both of these devices. The iPhone 7 has that Apple A10 Fusion chip inside of it with 2 gigabytes of RAM, where the iPhone SE 2 has that Apple A13 Bionic chip inside of it with 3 gigs of RAM. So let's go see which one is the faster phone between both of these. Okay, now that we're back, like I mentioned before, all the apps are clear on the background. Let's get started. Let's do phone calls, 3, 2, 1. I think the SE 2 was faster. App stores, 3, 2, 1. And would you look at that? I think the iPhone 7 may actually be faster than the iPhone SE 2 in that case. Scrolling through, you can see both of them are kind of the same, but yeah, the iPhone 7 may have been faster there, which is very weird. Let's do clock, 3, 2, 1. About the same there too, and the iPhone 7 is on the right. The iPhone SE 2 is on the left, by the way, in case I didn't mention that before. As always, I have a bunch of these third-party apps we can go and get into. Let's get into Fruit Ninja, 3, 2, 1. Now, this app may not work on either one of these, so I guess we'll just see what happens. It's going to get messed up. Okay, so the iPhone SE 2 was able to load that on at least this panel faster than the iPhone 7, but the iPhone 7 was able to load up that specific panel. Seemed like it loaded that one up faster than the iPhone SE 2, which is a very, very strange. I was not expecting that. Let's get into Facebook, 3, 2, 1. The iPhone SE 2 is faster. iPhone 7 a little bit behind. Let's get into Twitter, 3, 2, 1. And again, the iPhone SE 2 is faster here. iPhone 7 a little bit slower. Now it's kind of slowing down a little bit. Quizlet, 3, 2, 1. A little bit of a glitch when I clicked on it, but the SE 2 was faster there. Let's get into Dropbox, which I don't even have. Let's get into Netflix, 3, 2, 1. And I did get this little error message on here, but the iPhone 7 was able to load that up, so I'm not really too sure what happened there. Let's do Temple Run 2, 3, 2, 1. And this one may go for the SE 2. I'm not 100% too sure. And there we go, the SE 2. It does seem to be loading up that one up faster than the iPhone 7. The iPhone 7 was faster though in the beginning with, so I'm wondering why it changed up now. but that was very strange at the beginning with. So as you can see, a pretty big difference between these two here. Getting into some gameplay, it's going to be roughly around the same. I really don't think one is going to glitch up or anything like that. They're roughly around the same phone here. Hopping out of there, let's go ahead and get into Snapchat. 3, 2, 1. And iPhone SE2 is faster here. iPhone 7 a bit slower. Instagram. 3, 2, 1. iPhone SE2 is faster, iPhone 7 a little bit slower. So I think ultimately that kind of covers up a majority of the apps that I wanted to test. I think it's quite obvious which one is the faster one, but it was pretty surprising that the iPhone 7 was kind of catching up. It was doing a pretty decent job in the beginning with. I did a full speed comparison last year and the SE2 was killing it. Now it kind of seems like, there were some flip-flops going on. Sometimes the SE2 was faster, sometimes the iPhone 7 was faster. So take it as you will, but that kind of covers up the speed comparison. Let's go ahead and hit on the cameras. Now, as I mentioned before, single camera setups on back, 12 megapixel sensors, and they are essentially almost the same thing, to be honest. Now, the iPhone 7's camera definitely is not amazing anymore, but it's still pretty good for the year that it came out. It's turning 5 years old this year, and I think for a majority of people out there, like, this is a pretty solid camera. I think if you're trying to take, good photos, this is decent. Of course, you're only getting a single camera, but you're only getting a single camera setup on the iPhone SE2 as well, so it's not really that big of a deal in my opinion. On top of this, no portrait mode, no 4K at 60, only 1080p at 30 on the front, and you're pretty much limited in that sense. That's one of the biggest, I guess, problems with the iPhone 7. With the iPhone SE2, on the other hand, you're getting a better quality and higher quality lens on the back. Even though it's still only a wide-angle lens, you're getting, I guess, a better looking lens. But on top of that, higher frame rate, you can film in 4K at 60 on the back, but still only 1080p at 30 on the front. So that's another kind of minor thing to keep in mind, but you have portrait mode on the iPhone SE2, which I love. This is a very cool feature. I utilize it all the time. So it's very awesome that we have that type of capability on a phone like an iPhone SE2 that is, retailing for $399. The iPhone 7 you could pick up for like around $120, probably even cheaper than that in most places. So take it as you will, but I would definitely say the camera on the iPhone SE2 is far better than the camera on the iPhone 7 for sure. So to kind of sum up this video and to answer the question, should you go and buy an iPhone 7 or an iPhone SE2? Should you buy a cheaper one, a more expensive one? I'll definitely tell you, I think if you have an iPhone 7, I would probably recommend keeping it. I think this is still a very solid phone in many different areas. But if you don't have an iPhone 7, if you're coming from a phone that's not an iPhone 7, it would probably only make sense to pick up an iPhone SE2 over an iPhone 7 in my opinion. There are obviously many things between these phones that one doesn't have. The iPhone SE2 has way more features built in, much faster chipset. It really wasn't extremely fast in this case, but the iPhone SE2 has, a much newer chipset. It's going to last for a much longer amount of time. Better camera on the back, better looking screen, wireless charging. It feels really good in the hand. The iPhone 7, the main advantage of it is that it's cheaper and that it's still getting software support. Other than that, within a year and a half from now, within a year from now, this phone is probably not going to be getting software support anymore. And that's going to be kind of a sad thing. But the iPhone SE2 is still getting support. It's going to be supported for a very long amount of time. So the iPhone SE2, in my opinion, is the no-brainer. I would highly recommend every single person out there to buy an iPhone SE2 if you can. If not, I think the iPhone 7 is a great phone, but I would honestly also recommend buying an iPhone 8. That's a great middle ground between these two phones. It's almost like this, say, it's like if these two phones had a baby, it would be the iPhone 8, and I would probably recommend getting that phone as well. So that pretty much covers it up. If you want to pick up either one of these phones, like I mentioned before, links will be down in the description. If you guys have any other questions or anything like that, let me know in the comments section below. Hit the like button, that would mean so much, but definitely hit that subscribe button. Every single subscriber that we get really does count. So it means so much if you guys could hit that. Also check out the other links down in the description as well. My Twitter, my Instagram, my other channels. More importantly than everything else, I love every single one of you guys. Hopefully I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out till then.